Howdy y'all, this is Austin Gridley Pickleball coming at you with another video today. Today I want to talk about revamping your game, revamping my game. Something I'm working on right now is I'm changing up some of my dinking strokes, some of my volley strokes, and I'm just looking to improve my actual technique. So I'm looking at actually changing up shots and some of the fundamentals as well. And that's one thing I've constantly been doing throughout my pickleball experience, and it's one way I've found active success in improving where a lot of people haven't. So a couple examples of that in my early beginning stages of pickleball. First one was, and I'll show you. So when I was a 4-0, my favorite shot, I will show you what it was. So it was a 4-0. After about 3 months of playing pickleball, I was a solid 4-0. My favorite shot was when they're coming up to the net. Off the bounce, I would do a backhand. It was more of a side spin slice, and against the 3-5 players, against the 4-0 players, it was wrecking havoc. It was awesome. I loved it. It was so much fun to just hit that and not even have them hit the ball or whatever. It was great. But I remember I was playing against one of my really good friends at the time. He was a 5-0, and he was telling me, Austin, this shot isn't going to work against 4-5 and 5-0 players. It's just not going to work. And I listened to him, and I stopped doing the shot. And I'm very grateful that I did. It saved me a lot of time and effort. And I hope with my channel that I give you some of these things where I help you learn from my mistakes so you don't make the same mistakes that I made. Okay, so anyways, I stopped doing that shot, and I saw a really good improvement with that against the better players. On that note too, with some of the things I'm pointing out, if something's not going to work against the next level, you're 3-5 wanting to beat 4-0s, etc., if something works against other 3-5s or 3-0s but it won't work against the 4-0s, then you need to do whatever it takes. You need to work on the things that beat the 4-0s against the 3-5s. You need to practice that so when you play the 4-0s, you're blooming ready. So yeah, don't get caught in that trap. Like just because a shot wrecks the 3-5s, if it's not going to wreck the 4-0s, don't be practicing that. Do the shots that will wreck the next level. Work on that. Okay, next one. So this is kind of an origin story of mine. My second tournament and my first big tournament, I was about 5 or 6 months after I started pickleball. I was a low 4-5, and I was a low 4-5 at the time. I did all of the basics of pickleball okay. I was okay at dinking, I was okay at dropping, I was okay at pretty much everything, just okay. And then my partner is from Alaska. His name was Manu Pasricha. He was probably the best 4-5 that was in that event. So I had the best partner, so that's very nice. And so I told him my big strength at the time was I was very good at forehand cross-court dinking. I was really strong at that, and I was confident I could beat any opponent at that. And so I told Manu, like, you're going to be on the left, I'm going to be stacking on the right, and we're going to get to the net, and then I'm going to forehand cross-court dink, and we're going to win. And that's what happened. That was our game plan, and it focused on my strength, and I was probably not even a top 7 player in the event, but I had the best player, and I knew what my job was, and I focused on my strength. So how does that relate to this? So next, maybe 2 or 3 months later, I'm starting to drill a tiny bit with Shelton, and my forehand dinks were trash against Shelton. He's taking it out of the air. He's punishing it. It's not working at all. And I'm like, my goodness. Okay, against the next level, these forehand dinks aren't going to work. Against the 4-5s, they're great. Against the 5-0s, they're trash. And so I had to change up my forehand dinks, and to this day, it's no longer a strength of mine. It's probably one of the things I'm a little bit less good at. And I have had to adapt my game to change things to overcome that. So that's 2 big things where I had to revamp my game. Here's an example of one of my good friends who I drilled with. He's a 4-5 player. I remember one of the big things he would do was he would forehand slice drop. And I remember talking with him. I'm like, it's like, how many, and I'll ask you this, how many top pros forehand slice drop? I mean, I can maybe think of one. And yeah, so like 1% of them, like not very much. No one really does it. It doesn't work. It's very hard to do. It's so hard to do. That's why no one does it. And so I was telling him, like, hey, do not forehand slice drop it. You can, and heads up, like a backhand slice drop, it can be really good. That's valid. But forehand one just is very hard to do. And so I was telling him, like, hey, do not forehand slice drop. It's too tough. Like no one else does it. Do a flat forehand drop, or a lot of top players will forehand topspin drop, and that's harder to do. And so master the flat one, and then you can learn the topspin one. But I was like, hey, do not slice it. And we were drilling a fair bit, and then we stopped a little bit, and then maybe a couple months later, we're playing, and he's forehand slice dropping it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, dude, you could, and it's just, I didn't talk to him about it, but it's like, dude, you could have gotten so much better just by changing this little thing, and it would improve you so quick in like a week. And he's just not willing to do it. He's doing the same thing. He's not changing his game up, and he's going to stay the same. And so, anyways, do not, and that brings up another point. When a player that's significantly better than you recommends something or tries to coach you a little bit, take it. Like, it's free coaching. It can definitely help you out. At least take it with a grain of salt. Go try it a little bit, and if you like it, great. If you hate it, like, throw it away. That's fine. Also, let's say you're playing with a significantly better player. For example, with me, if you're just a random Joe playing with me, I'm not gonna just coach you. Like I don't want to. It's not worth it. But if someone asks me, they have to ask me like 3 or 4 times, and then I'll be like, okay, they really want me to help them. Like I'll point out a couple things, or I'll try to help them a little bit. And I think I'm too far on that spectrum where I don't help enough when they ask. But anyways, when you're playing with someone significantly better with you, you have an opportunity. Ask them how they can help you, and they can point out some really good stuff. Okay, so anyways, that's a couple things. Don't be afraid to revamp your game, to change things. Maybe your favorite shot is not gonna work at the next level, or maybe you need to revamp your weakness, whatever it is. So anyways, hopefully that helps you not get stagnant and you are actively improving. Thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and like this video. And thank you for supporting the channel, making it so I can validly make more of these videos. And have a great day playing pickleball. Pickle on, dudes.